What are the three things I tell all my clients never ever to be against DCF? And those three things are simple. Do not be intimidated by DCF. Do not be afraid and a scaredy cat against DCF. And do not ever be bullied. I can't begin to tell you how many times clients will talk to me and call me after they've met with DCF. And they'll say to me that DCF social worker was evil. They were so mean. They were nasty. But not only to me, but more importantly to my children. Well, in DCF's own regulations, they're supposed to be courteous, kind, and polite. And I don't care who you are, what you are. Don't you ever change being a proper lady and proper gentleman. And if DCF wants to act up and act out and act terribly, let them. But don't you. Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever lower yourself to their level. And sometimes DCF makes mistakes, and they're human beings too. But I always say to myself, when DCF is rude, crude, and socially unacceptable to Attorney Seaver, what are they doing when I'm not here? How do they treat my clients when I'm not at the home? How do they treat the clients in court when I'm representing my clients? And the answer is obvious. They're not being very nice. Because I, as an officer of the court, hopefully a professional, I'm sure DCF questions that sometimes, that's okay. But a professional, if they're treating me like crap, what are they doing when I'm not around? And they say their character is what you do when nobody's looking. So what does a social worker do to my clients when I'm not around? The supervisor, you're a program manager, you're a clinical manager, you're a director, and everybody at DCF is not looking over their shoulder. That's the true essence, isn't it? So you must realize that some of these social workers aren't going to be very nice to you. But I've had client after client after client call me after having been exposed to DCF saying, Kevin, I need you in my house. I need you on the phone or the Zoom call or in court, whatever it is, because they're not being fair. And that's where I always come down with fair or unfair. And when DCF is unfair, the parents and the children know this in no uncertain terms, because DCF should be fair, but they're not always. And again, I give them a pass, because sometimes we as human beings, and I make mistakes every day, I got both hands raised, but so does DCF. So what you've got to do is, when you got such a situation, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't believe in getting rid of the social worker. Why is that? Because first of all, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. But if you get rid of the social worker, you might get even a worse social worker. So what I suggest you do is go up the food chain, talk to the supervisor, and make a meeting. Go in and talk to the supervisor and the social worker. And maybe the social worker had a bad day. We all have them. So look to see and seek solutions. That's huge.